Hey, it's the podcast guy.
Sutton United Talk Time on podcast. It's the Sutton Podcast.
And there it is! Sutton United of the GM Vauxhall Conference have put out First Division Coventry City, winners of the FA Cup themselves less than 2 years ago. And what a moment to enjoy for the fans of this Surrey side. They've had their moments before, but never one like this. But the whistle goes down. Delight for Sutton United. Sutton United from the National League are through to the last 16 of the FA Cup. No longer English football's perennial non-league club. A 123-year crescendo reaches a new peak for Sutton United, who are promoted to the Football League for the first time.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Sutton United Talk Time on podcast. It's the Sutton Podcast in association with Lucky Star Gin. I'm your host Mike, and with me today we have Andy and Joe mostly. He's going to dip in and out because he's got problems. That's his end, not mine. We are going to be talking about both Aldershot and Barnet, and I'm going to pretend that the Ebbsfleet match just didn't happen. So we're going to ignore that completely. We're not going to talk about it. Yeah, we'll move on very quickly. We love hearing from you. We love the engagement, the likes, shares, retweets, all the rest of it, or whatever it's called now, re-X's. Follow us on all social medias at Sutton Podcast, and please join in the conversation. Right, I'm going to introduce you both, and I'm going to say to both of you, Andy, happy recent birthday.
Thank you.
More than welcome. How have you been?
I've been fine, thank you, yeah.
Good. Nice little trip.
Little trip?
I thought you went away. I kept seeing food.
No.
Oh, okay. What
No,
sort of food?
that was like months ago.
Was it? Okay, fair enough. I don't keep my finger on the pulse.
No.
And talking of almost months ago, it's nearly a month ago. But Joe, happy birthday. You're 18.
Thank you very much. Yes, I'm 18. I'm an
You're no
adult.
longer a kid.
Yes. Yeah.
Well,
So all you fan people, come into my DMs now. You know, it's all okay. No.
Whoa.
Easy.
Let's
No.
let's not encourage that.
We're gonna get started. Well, no. Right, don't say nice words of encouragement.
Okay, yeah.
That's what I want. Nothing else. Just encouragement. Because I had my DMs blocked before, but now they're.
Okay.
Move on. Say something.
Let's
Like,
move on
please.
very quickly. That was very weird. Right, I didn't even send you guys a knowing you question. So we'll skip that bit. Club news. Differing thoughts, I'm sure. Lots of people have different thoughts. We have reached a cup final. I will give you both my thoughts on it. But Joe, you did a fist pump. What do you feel about this cup final?
Slightly over-exaggerated, somewhat sarcastic fist bump, but it's a cup final. I'm taking it. It's not the cup final any of us would have wanted. It doesn't seem to be the cup final that the club particularly wanted, or the rest of the footballing participants in it, or the footballing community more widely. But we're in it, and I wouldn't be surprised if the competition was shelved next year because of how unpopular it's been. So we could be the only winners of this competition. So that's how I'm seeing it. We could be the only ever winners, making us the best team that has ever competed in this competition. And there are very few teams that can say that about competitions around the world. So that's how I'm looking at it. And, you know, Leeds, I also just want to be singing Leeds are falling apart again on Tuesday night. So, well, to be fair, I think I'm on PA on Tuesday night, so I don't think I'll be allowed. But, you know,
Yeah, you definitely do that. Yeah. Andy, you've said this is not a new competition.
Yeah, well, it's new in this format, but it's a competition that has existed. And it's a competition, of course, we've won. Back in 1991, beating Barrow over 2 legs. I remember the second leg. I was stewarding that day. Chucked it down with rain. We won 5-0, I think. And it was the most muted celebration for winning a cup I've ever seen, because we got relegated the following week. Yeah, But if we do consider it as a new competition, then yeah, nice. I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, it's not often, particularly take the Surrey Senior Cup out of it, which really is, it's not a first team competition anymore. How many finals do we get to? Obviously, there was Wembley.
Yeah.
Take the Surrey Senior Cup out, you're kind of looking at the Guardian Insurance Cup in the mid-90s. And then before that, again, another couple of League Cups and the FA Trophy back in 81. So it's not something that comes around every day. It's weird. I mean, Joe, you're absolutely right. With a lot of clubs, it really hasn't been popular. But weirdly enough, in terms of non-league clubs, ours has been probably one of the best attended overall entire competition than anyone else. It's kind of like we're getting like 800-900, even over 1,000 for games. Whilst other teams are getting 100. So it's really odd. And it's been a good chance to get match minutes into legs as well. No, I think it's been great, and a lot of people really down on the competition. Some for good reasons, some for wild reasons. But no, I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, it's the only thing we've got left to play for this season. So let's enjoy it. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of cautiously go both sides. I see absolutely both points of why people don't like it, why people don't want it. I absolutely get that. I'm a big fan of the FA Cup replays because you never know, and it can be. I mean, I think Crawley basically put most of their success down to, I think they did a replay at Man United at one stage or something years and years ago, and it kind of set them up for a long time. So yeah, that side of it, I'm not a fan of that at all. But we are in a cup final. Our club has taken it seriously from the start, and they've sort of targeted it, so that's a success. And to everyone else who hates the competition because of the under-21s in there, we're the only team that can stop an under-21 side winning it. So realistically, you need to come and support us because otherwise an under-21 side is going to win it, and it will prove the Premier League's point, and they'll start trying to push for their B teams to be allowed into the pyramid, which obviously we don't want. So everyone in the country, get behind Sutton United. Last I heard, about 1,000 tickets, and it's still a week away. So ticket sales are going well. A lot more leads than perhaps we thought might make it. But yeah, it's something we can win, and hopefully start the process of winning. And we'll see it. Winning breeds winning. Other news: the awards dinner. Different reactions with everyone getting really upset that it's going to cost money. But I know, Andy, you know this, but it used to cost money back in the day when Doz decided, and we'll just, I'm not having the list split over 2 nights. We'll do it over one. But yeah, so the awards dinner is you can't have it open to everyone because it's just like herding cattle when you're herding fish. It's just impossible. But Andy, what did you want to jump in? Do you remember 3 days?
Yeah, I mean, I never went to a formal one, but I did go to some of the kind of informal ones. And actually, by the end of it, it was just a free for all. It was just, people were trying to present prizes to players and awards. You couldn't hear anyone. It was. I can see exactly why the club want to go back to something a bit more formal. People are moaning about the price. Actually, formal dinners, it's actually not bad a price. And yeah, I think it's absolutely fine. There was one supporter who shall remain nameless, who claims to have had connections with the club for over 40 years, saying to Dave Fairbrother that they've never had a formal dinner in the past. To which Dave Fairbrother replied, "Yeah, I organised it for 20 years, so you're wrong." Yeah, I think it's fine. I mean, again, everyone's getting what they want. You've got the formal side of it. You've got the kind of the proper sort of dinner side, and you've got the end of season party at the end of it. So I don't see what the problem is.
Yeah, it makes more sense to me to give out awards in a sort of structured thing. Does mean I can't sneak in a podcast Player of the Year award. Just go up and take the microphone and just give it a whirl. But I might try anyway.
Yes, you can.
I might try anyway.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing the podcast Player of the Year in a couple of weeks. Same group, same format as the World Cup thing. You vote in the groups and then they go through. It was one head-to-head, so that should be fun.
Can I hedge a bet? Can I hedge a bet for the 4 finalists?
You can do what you like, but I'm not paying out any money.
Continue.
No, I'm not paying money out, so don't be mad. All the winner's going to get is a little AI.
I was going to put a tenner. I was going to put a tenner on Jackson, Will Davies, Finley Barbrook, and Lewis Simper.
Yeah, but I do the draw, so I might make them go.
Don't all in one group. You'll get complaints.
Also, don't forget the fans match is coming up. Please come along and support them. You'll be pleased to know I am not walking around the pitch. Well, I'm going to walk around the pitch, but I'm not going to be walking around on the pitch. And also Dundo's match. I hope you guys caught the interview with Dundo. If you haven't yet, lots of nice things have been said about it. So I suspect that's all for Dundo, but not me. There is a second part coming up with different people in his journey. So Doz, Matt, hopefully. Jamie Collins is on there, and Easty, if I ever pin him down to actually take the damn video call. I'm unlikely to do Yeovil. My poor doggy's going to go to the vets on Friday, and I'm just not going to fancy doing anything on the Sunday because I'll be coming with my poor doggy. Yeah. But let's get to the matches. Let's start with Aldershot. Joe, what were you feeling ahead of that game? Do you kind of feel we got what we expected out of it?
Tough team, Aldershot. They've had a good last few months. We're better away than we are at home. And this is quite as an indictment. We're like 19th or 18th in the form table at home. We're like 9th or 10th away, which is it's very the contrary to previous years. But I think we were looking. I think a point was kind of what minimum. They are a good team. They're not as flying as they were right at the start of the season when they were seeming like banging goals for fun. Very leaky defence. They've kind of sorted themselves out over recent months. But yeah, I was going into it thinking, hang on, if we get 3 points here, Barnet is having a bit of a wobble. 3 points there, and it's a good big, well, not big stadium, but it's not a bad stadium to go play in. Good set of fans. Had a busy last 2 or 3 years, cup runs and all this. So yeah, I think we going into it, I think I'm actually a bit more confident going to away matches as of late than going to home matches. So I was hoping we could sneak a win, hoping we could come back to Sutton with 3 points. But in an away game, even though our form suggests otherwise, a point's a point, and you can't really sniff at it, really.
Yeah, I mean, Andy, both teams were going into that game on the end of disappointing results. So it was always going to be fairly tight, and neither team wanted to give anything away. I mean, it was a game of two halves, but this time there was a reason for it. But what did you think of that game?
Well, you said it yourself. It's a game of two halves, isn't it? Yeah, it's. But that's kind of been the story of Sutton this season. We can play really well for 45 minutes, but we can't do it for 90. And Aldershot, I think, was a perfect example of that. First half, we were great, clearly in control. Probably should have been more than 1 goal up. And the second half, we kind of, I wouldn't say we switched off. They worked us out.
Yeah,
I would say it's probably a better way of putting it. So, yeah, point is okay. Maybe a bit disappointing. Aldershot, I didn't think were a very good side. They're obviously saving themselves a little bit for Wembley. Yeah, there was nothing particularly special about that. Although I was quite pleased that Kwame Thomas didn't get anywhere close to scoring, because that would have been an insult to injury. The ground, it's a fantastic ground for 1953. I think I said. Yeah, I mean, some of it was awful. The disabled access was shocking. Poor old Tony Torch. It took 7 people to push him up the hill a little bit from the car park. to get him into the ground. And even when he got to the turnstile in his mobility chair, basically it was like, oh, you have to get up and go through the turnstile. Like, it's just what is this about? And you go in, and it's like a portaloos, and it's really not set up well for away fans at all. Once you're in, it's fine. The view's good. The terrace we were in is fantastic. You could, the Sutton fans are really making a lot of noise. Shame a couple of idiots decided to spoil it with a flare, but yeah, apart from that, once you're in there, it's fine. But they need to think a little bit more about how to accommodate people who are less fortunate than the average person, because I just thought that was really poor.
Yeah, I mean, there was a few things I sort of saw from there. It was, as you mentioned, the loos, and it was just grab a loo. There wasn't men's or ladies.
Yeah,
and it was like, okay, mostly blokes listen to this, and we're minging. So let's be honest. It's like, oh no, but I don't know where I was going to go with that. But the experience for the away fans, obviously, I don't get it much, but then you see the difference when Sutton, lots of comments and compliments for our away, the stewards especially, because it's like the guys said years ago that they want people to see Sutton in the fixtures calendar and go, yes, I'm going there. It was a good experience. I want to go back again. So there was more. I know we jumped ahead to the Barnet game, but even they were there. The stewards were fantastic at Sutton United. But yeah, they definitely need to learn more. Andy, Lewis's goal and Ashley's assist. I'm giving Ashley all the assists he wants now.
Well, yeah, he doesn't get a bonus for it.
He's not on a bonus, so he can have as many as he wants. I'm not taking any more away from him.
Yeah, I mean, if we're doing a goal of the season competition, it's Lewis on his own, really, isn't it? It's just, although it was slightly different, his goal. Normally, the Lewis goals coming from a distance are like real pile drivers, and the keeper has no chance. But watching that goal again, it was such a clever little dink. Beyond the keeper, he knew where the keeper was. He knew where the keeper was going to go, and he kicks it in the place where the keeper wasn't going to go. It was a lovely bit of football from a quality player.
Joe, how did you see it?
Yeah, again, I think Andy put it perfectly. Think of goals against Gateshead, think of goals against Woking away. You think of goals he scored, they are, they're smashed and they're hit hard. This was placed. This had a certain amount of finesse to it. A really nice goal, and it's as much as love it for Lewis. Slightly more concerned in the fact that he's really having a bit not shown by our results, but he's had a good last few months, goals and performances. I think he's another one we can perhaps expect to see on the way out in the summer if an EFL side takes a punt on him. Playing in League One with Cambridge. I saw something earlier today that Northampton, even in League One, have been looking at him, and box midfielder, good on the ball. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't want him. Northampton's away, but obviously he lives up in Cambridge. It would make sense. So him, we were starting to see who. With the lineups, you're starting to see different combinations. You're starting to see different players given minutes as the kind of season fizzles out, and seeing who we want to keep, who if they're on a longer contract, do we want to try and move them on, or do we want to try and kind of make them a part of the backbone of next season? And I think we're starting to see it. I don't want to. I know Will Davis has been a bit he's had knocks here and there and this and that, but I think there's a general understanding he will, his contract ends. I think he will move on. He's had a very, very good season. Does the contract not end?
I don't think it does. I think he might be on a 2. I'm not sure. Don't quote me.
I'm not sure. I don't want to say definitely. I thought he was on a 1, but he might be on a 2. But even so,
And his research.
How can you say? I'll see what I can find out. Carry on, guys.
I saw the quizzical look on your face and something moved.
15 plus goals in a league, in a National League season isn't to be sniffed at, and a Bromley I know they've got Michael Cheek, but Bromley and Wimbledon, even a Barnet. They're kind of teams that could take a punt on him, Jackson, Lewis, and Bo. It's slightly sad to see, because I don't think if you'd asked Steve Morrison 3 months ago, if we were in a bit more of a playoff fight, would Anana Boating up front be the plan, or just the midfield he's been using, Sidge kind of playing a bit more advanced. I think that it's just interesting, but we're getting to see different groups of players work together. And they're not working badly. First half, you said, Andy, against Aldershot. First half-ish, parts of it yesterday. And second half at the start to an extent. It wasn't bad. So only positive things from that. But yeah, Simp's strike was excellent. And he is a player who I think will go under the radar in terms of, if you look back at this season in a year or two's time, you look back on it and you'll think Jack Sims, Will Davies as the two standouts. Ashley Nadesan from his goal scoring form in late last year. Sims has scored goals, but I think also in terms of the kind of when he was injured, we really missed him. And obviously we missed Jaden Harris as well, but I think he's a much more integral cog to that team than we've thought. We've been lucky with kind of Barbrook not being too badly, not having really any injuries all season, and Will not having too many injuries all season, Sims having too many injuries all season. I look back on it now, I think if we had a bad injury to one or two of those guys, would our season be in a slightly different place? And my answer's starting to lean towards yes, which makes me think, look, recruitment this summer needs to be slightly more varied. But I mean, that's what you get at the end of the season. You start to see the plans going forward.
Well, there's a couple of things there. With Will, you said he's had a couple of knocks. I reckon he's just literally got to that point of he's playing, and then he did have a knock and had a rest, and it's now kind of the point of everything's hurting. And it's like he's been going on and running on adrenaline for so long, but when he's had a chance to have a rest, it's like, oh, actually, this is hurting, that's hurting. But talk about Jack Sims. I mean, in the Aldershot game, he did make another crucial save or two. I mean, how good has he been for this season, and how many times has he saved us? Joe?
Well, yeah, he loves Steve Arnold. The difference between the first month and a bit of our season and then Jack coming in, the moment I knew this guy's a proper keeper was the Chertsey game in the FA Cup. He made one ridiculous save. I was like, yeah, he can play. Great distribution, connection with the fans, and distribution the way we wanted to play, the way we wanted to play with the ball. Steve Arnold, you saw throughout the start, he's not that type of keeper. Southend springs to mind away with the pass out the back, and very, very good keeper. But he, penalty saves, you back him in most penalty save situations. The number of kind of reaction saves, I think I can name. I'm not going to name them obviously, but there are at least 10 instances this season where saves which really should go in don't, just because of just sheer instinct, and that's an amazing thing to have. And just a shame we couldn't he wasn't in the side a little bit sooner, picking up a bit of an injury in pre-season. But yeah, he's been massive, and there's a reason why he was top of clean sheets last season in the NLS and in the team of the year. And you look at the goalkeepers, and I was looking at just goalkeepers for the National League. You've got a few names. You've got kind of Harrison Marlowe for York. You've got Halifax's keeper has kept a ridiculous number of clean sheets because they just draw or win by 1-0 all the time, or stuff like that. And you think of kind of Barnet have had a bit of a weird keeper situation. Same with Forest Green. It's been here and there. I think Jack Sims definitely has to be in that conversation, because I think without him, again, like I said for Simper, and it makes it a little bit more worrying, the fact that we're talking about individuals a little bit more. It's kind of Simper, Davis, Sims. Because if you take away Jack Sims from this team and you put Steve Arnold, or you say George Evans has a 6-month loan stay for the rest of the season instead, again, are we in the same position? No, I don't want to say that we would be, because I think he is so good, and I would not be surprised if, as much as it hurts me, a Bromley or a Wimbledon go and snap him up, because Owen Goodman is leaving on a loan at the end of the season for Wimbledon, and Bromley have an aging keeper unit. So Jack Sims, 24, 25, that's where Bromley are, Omar Shomi connection. Just says Sutton's a good place to come. You come to Bromley. So I'm just warning for anyone's listening, if we see a little notification on our Twitter in June that says Jack Sims signs on a 2.5 or 2-year deal from Sutton United, don't say I didn't tell you so, because I think it's something that could very realistically happen.
I can't remember who I was speaking to. It might have been you, Andy, or it might have been Chalmers. I can't remember. But that's the model we're going to be. We're going to be picking up players, improving them, showcasing them, and moving on. They basically want to do the Brighton Brentford model and bring players through and sell them on. But Andy, talk to us about Jack Sims.
Well, firstly, I did check. Will Davis is on a 2-year deal. So
knowledge.
Get me a fee. Well done, Mike. But
knowledge.
Get a fee for that.
Yeah, I don't know about Lewis. No idea about Lewis, and no idea about Jack either. But Will's definitely on the 2-year. Yeah, Jack Sims has been fantastic, hasn't he? It's strange because last season, when Arnold came in for Bizarreness, everyone was like, yeah, great, Arnold, fantastic. And then Arnold started off the season and then made some Bizarreness-style clangers and lost his place. And Sims jumped at the chance and made it his own. Yeah, he's been fantastic. I've not seen a goalkeeper for us so good at stopping penalties as Sims in a very long time. Probably going back to kind of Gary McCann era. So that's, we're looking 25 years there. Yeah, he's great. I mean, for a club like us, you're right. We are going to be in a position where we're going to have some players leave who we didn't want to leave. And that, I mean, obviously that was exaggerated when we had relegation last season. The number of players that Steve wanted to keep who we couldn't because they had relegation release clauses or a club came in and made them an offer that we couldn't really refuse. The 3 players we carried from last season were not meant to be the entire carryover of the squad. Goodliff was supposed to be there. Swomney was supposed to be there. Harry Smith was supposed to be there. Sam Hart. I mean, you could go on. All of these, even Harry Buteman. All of those players were this kind of starting point, but every manager will have that point where they have to build a squad around a lot of unknowns. They will know who they think probably needs to move on and can't go forward with the club, but there'll be other players who will move on regardless, because really for them, they need to be playing at a high level, and probably Jack Sims is one of them. And there's no point in trying to, even if he is on a contract, there's no point in trying to stand in his way because, you don't block players' moves if they want to move somewhere else because that player doesn't play for you. No. It doesn't, particularly with the psychological aspect that Steve's a big fan of. He knows that. So we will be losing some club favourites that we've got from this year. Who? I don't know. It all depends on how persuasive Steve can be to say, look, actually, you could move on now, but you'll be languishing in the reserves and you won't get regular game time. Have one more season here, improve even more, and then you'll either go to a higher club playing regularly, or you could go to an even higher club and learn from there. So, yeah, I mean, this is the thing. That's what individuals are. They'll all have their own decision on that one. But it wouldn't surprise me if probably the number one that would go actually would be Jack Sims.
Yeah, Steve Morrison is very fair to the players, and if he thinks they should be playing higher, he will not encourage them to leave, but he will be telling them, you should be aiming higher, you shouldn't be settling for this. And I say not encouraging them to leave, but saying, you should do that. But it gives us kudos as well. Remember, we had that years and years ago when players were coming here, moving on, and it's always nice that you can go, oh, look, one of our players is playing Football League. I mean, it's not so big now because obviously we've been there, done that. But right. Aldershot done. In fairness, you both separately said the same thing when we came on. So I'm going to say it that you both said that the really good thing about the Barnet match, and I love the fact that we're being positive, was that everyone was united from the manager all the way through to the players to the fans. We all felt the same. So yes, well done, everyone. But Andy, you can go first. Where do you want to start with Barnet?
A competitive game killed by the referee.
And thank you very much. Goodbye.
Yeah.
I mean, people. It's astonishing. I mean, I've seen people who, yes, they don't always like referees, but using words I've never really seen them before with word cheat being bandied around. And it's like, okay, I know you'll say that incompetent, stupid, and all the rest of it, but I've never really heard cheat being chucked around. But
I'll put it in a bit more perspective. Okay, there's a lot of times, a lot of fans from any club will basically have a go at the ref, say the ref, is a cheat. You're favouring so and so side because you're not giving us every decision, etc., etc. 99 times out of 100, it's not the case. Yeah, it might be a referee makes a cock up or is a bit incompetent, but generally a ref is fair. And refs very, very rarely affect a game with a poor or really dodgy decision. It happened at Aldershot in the FA Trophy semi-final against Woking, where Widdrington pretended to be elbowed by Harry Buteman, sent off, nothing happened. They went out. Woking went out, and Harry's red card got turned over straight away. Right, that changed the game. That was probably due to incompetence. I think
I'd say that's more to the player cheating. The referee, I think, was done there.
But again, I mean, what you've got there is you've got a referee and you've got a linesman. It was a corner. The linesman should have been watching this as well, and it's kind of like, they'd have to be in very, very specific positions on the pitch to get that so wrong, But I think with us, it was just, I mean, the goalkeeper's double foul on Simper. The first one was almost identical to Brad House's sending off at Rochdale 2 seasons ago. It was just absolutely nuts, and we get nothing for it. And then the handball as well within that, awful. Nana Boateng being literally smacked into the hoardings, nothing. And then Tyler French, okay, it was a bit of a tug. It wasn't anything, I don't even think it was a goal scoring opportunity, because looking where the player was, he wasn't going to hit that into the goal. He was far too far forward. So it wasn't even a goal scoring opportunity, but red card, penalty. Penalty, yeah, maybe. Yellow card at best, not a red card. So it's a pattern of behaviour here rather than just one really rubbish decision. I was flabbergasted. I just thought it was an utterly appalling refereeing display. A lot of the Barnet fans and the Barnet manager pretty much agree. I mean, obviously they're happy with the result, but actually I thought, we kind of cheated on this a little bit. I mean, but again, as I said on the forum, there's not one criticism of the team. The team were great. They were really, really good. Whilst it was level, it was, we matched the best team in the division. We matched the pretty much champions elect, like we did on Boxing Day. We were really, really good against them, and I can see why they're going up. They totally deserve to win this league. They're probably the best team I've seen this season. Yeah, players are great. Referee, shockingly bad.
Yeah, I mean, the fact the players carried on, I mean, it was great. And who knows? I mean, I don't think the other thing is any Sutton fan is sitting there going, "Oh, we would have won that, or we would have got a definite result," because teams that are going for championships tend to find a way.
Yeah,
but we didn't get the chance to try because had that keeper been gone for either the foul or the handball or the foul, then it would have been a different game completely. But Joe, go on. You have your little thought about the referee, and no, come on, you must have something else. Andy didn't mention the foul throw or the feeling 10 yards.
Foul throw was awful. It was like taking 15 yards forward. I actually don't understand. Like 5 yards, referees, 7, 8 yards, referees are like, yeah, move it back. 10, yeah, right, you spot it. Linesman spots. Someone spots it. Yeah. He literally just kept walking. Didn't have a clue, and just took it. And then ball goes bouncing again. Yellow, fine. Red, never. Penalty. From the moment Tyler had made any contact, he was going down. Bouncing ball from a throw, it shouldn't have been taken anywhere. Ridiculous. First one was a pen, second one was a pen, third of them was a pen. Ref was shocking. who didn't and these some of his decisions were just, even the ones which weren't even the big contentious affecting ones, just seemed like once he'd made that mistake, it was almost like he just didn't. I don't know how to put it. It was like he didn't lose control, because that would suggest that things wouldn't have happened. It was more that like, I'm just going to do whatever I want now. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to make this, and I'm going to put my imprint on this game. I've made 3 big mistakes. Why not make it 10? And at that point, I was just like, you know what? Fair play. Because if you're going to do a bad refereeing performance, you, sir, have done an excellent job. You are officially the best at bad refereeing performances in the league. And you can have that award. Come to our awards evening. You'll get a trophy. That's your trophy for this year, Mike. Go up on the stage with the mic.
Go to Barnet.
No. Yeah, go to Barnet. Open top bus parade, and we just get all the Sutton fans and refereeing. Just say red card for anything. No.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hard job, and I actually really, really rarely go in on referees, and tend to only try and do it when we've won the game, because it is always a convenient, it's the ref's fault. And I know, Andy, that's one of your pet peeves of it's whenever we lose, it's the ref's fault, or it wasn't most years it's the ref's fault. This year it's Morrow's fault. But it's something I don't like doing. But yeah, he made it so easy to go, what are you doing?
I also think that I think you guys will agree, I have massive respect for all referees, because it's a horrible job sometimes, and it only gets harder the more fans that are around you. And they were obeying Barnet lot, who were watching the York game with one hand, knowing that if Holden scored another, then before you know it, you've got you've won the league. So, and I'm not saying that had an impact, but it is an awful job. And by no means, if this is your first time and you're a Barnet fan watching a podcast, I have spoken to Mike at the games afterwards, and there's people up in arms about referee decisions, like, I never actually speak about the ref. I'm like, odd decision, but move on. It's 50-50, 6-1, half dozen the other. If anyone who didn't watch the match, he was honestly, it's the worst refereeing performance I have seen for Sutton for any game. Not the worst I've seen overall, because I've seen a few hours in the Prem, but that is, without VAR, the worst performance I've ever seen.
It's not as in the worst performance, because normally, as Andy kind of said earlier, normally when there's an awful performance referee, he's awful for everyone. And you can both point to different things going, hang on, that's not right. I think Barnet thought they should have had another penalty. But you mentioned Dean Brennan. I love him, by the way. But he came into the bar afterwards, and someone did mention, how much did you bribe the referee? And he just blessed himself, going, oh my God, I can't believe we got that. Fair enough, all right. Okay, there's nothing more we can say on that, because he's
a really honest, nice manager.
Yeah. I'm surprised he didn't question where all the 1,300 fans came from, because they weren't there at Barnet at the start of the season. But we did score. Suji got his pen. Were you in doubt, Joe?
Yes.
You're in doubt?
I'll be honest, I half expected the referee to blow as he was taking it. Just say, no, I've had enough. No.
Please remind.
I back it. I mean, he's had a tough season as Sige. He was very much in the side at the start of the years. He struggled throughout the years, had a few very rocky performances, but uncertainty of Simper, Barbrook, Woodyard not massively making the impact. Sivvy gone. He's looking like he's going to be here next season with the contract extension. Good for him to get a goal, maybe play in the last 3 games, play in the cup final, get a bit of confidence going into the summer break. We haven't seen the 16 goals that he got for Avery last season by no means. Most of them were pens, but he hasn't always been there on the pitch to take the pens. It's been Will, it's been other people. So I was in doubt, because I don't know. I was feeling just odd after the whole. I was seeing red, but no, I'm happy for him, because he has got a bit of stick, shall we say? I think over the last few months, just for how he's been playing, and fair enough, he hasn't been great, but I was happy to see him to get there. He's starting to cement his place a little bit more because he is a powerhouse in midfield when he gets going.
Yeah, Andy, were you in doubt, or well, you had your phone out, same as me. You knew it was going.
Yeah. I thought it was. I thought it was going to be fine. Yeah, I mean, good point you made there, Joe. Because I think we've all got different opinions on our current squad, whether they're good enough or not, and I don't think people necessarily going to agree completely on who is probably good enough to carry on for us next season, apart from some real obvious contenders. But yeah, I mean, Sidge really hasn't had that much of a chance. He's been even times where we've really struggled to name enough substitutes. He's still on the subs bench. And now he's actually starting to get his chance. And I think this is a really we've got 3 games left, put the cup final at one side. 2 games left. This is really an opportunity for Morrison to take a really good look at who we've got available, and what they could do for us. The results don't really matter anymore. I mean, we might end up losing both games. We lose both games. Doesn't matter. We're not going to miss out on prize money or anything like that. But it's a real opportunity for him to see actually. Well, as you rightly said, Joe, mix things up a bit, have different players in different positions, and using various players. Harry Ransom's another one. He's hardly featured, but in the last month or so, he's kind of appeared a bit more. Same with Hayden Muller. It's really seeing who can step up to the plate. This is why Ebbsfleet was a bit disappointing, although it never happened, obviously. The Ebbsfleet players on that day were playing, knowing they were relegated, playing without fear, and a lot of them were playing to put themselves in the shop window to get another National League contract next season from another side. And actually, I'm thinking a lot of our players should actually be in quite a similar thing. We're not going down. We're not going up. We're going to be mid-table. Now's the opportunity for you to kind of say to Morrison or to another manager, who knows, actually, I'm really good. Sign me up again, or sign me out of this club, sort of thing. So the last 2 games might be what is classed as dead rubbers, but actually for our squad next season, I think they're vitally important.
Yeah. It could be classed as dead rubbers, but I don't think Steve works like that.
Which is really good.
Yeah.
Which is really good. Because, they're not easy games. Yeovil have had a really weird season with all their ownership stuff, and it's their last home game of the season, and everyone that was been banned for basically saying, oh, your chairman's slightly dodgy, is going to be back and having a great time. And Woking have been... I saw a stat earlier today. Woking, since Ardley took over, would be sat 4th in the table, which is amazing. And Harry Beautyman, Aidan O'Brien,
Harry's injured now, I think.
Who?
Harry. I think I saw he got injured.
Oh, no, he might have been injured. O'Brien scored the other day.
He's checking. Andy's checking.
Put it next to the Will Davis. But no, I mean in terms of the wider effort this season, Harry's been excellent. He scored like 13 goals. But they're both good games, and it makes me excited, but also slightly nervous. It's going to be a weird summer for us because, last season it was all just bye, and then everyone was started leaving. Yeah. Obviously, Smith, Patrick, Kizzy, goodness, show me as Andy said, and then the season before that it was like right, firm from National League season leave. Season before that, it was like just stay where we are. We had a ridiculously good season, keep everything going, and it was a bit of a weird window. Like I remember, I did like a Twitter thread, which was like worst players that have played for us since we went up, and the amount of players I can name: Matt Ridley, Toby Ogundega, Kwame Thomas, like the players I can name from that season. It was like, yeah, you didn't do anything. Aaron Pierre, Luke Gambin, Charlie Kendall. I mean, just the name Damani Mellor. I could just name it, and that seems like just a weird transfer.
Damani Mellor's doing a podcast now.
I know he is, and I think Luke Gambin's playing in this new Ballers League thing. It's really, and Aaron Pierre's got League One football consistently. It's so strange.
But it just shows that some people see different things, and for different reasons. So a player that we might go, oh my God, he's awful. Who's that bloke who went on to have a really good career? Is it Solomon?
Yeah. Solomon
Yeah.
Taiwo. Yeah, he was absolutely shocking for us. And we let him go. It was in our relegation season, to be fair. And yeah, he ended up playing for Cardiff like within weeks in the Championship. Like, what? How?
You sure got the wrong person there. But anyway, yeah, right. So Steve's high standards. So we were raving about Lewis, and Steve has kind of went, yeah, he's great going forward, but I need more from him defensively. And he's done that to Jack Taylor. He's done that to Will earlier in the season, going, okay, great, you got to 10 goals, but you got to get to 20. So these are the standards he's setting. And I think slowly a lot of us coming around to going, okay, we're getting him now a little bit more. His personality's coming out a bit more. He's not, he is grumpy. There's not a lot he can do about it. He says it himself. He's grumpy. Well, he said miserable. I'd choose grumpy. But he's got very high standards. And after a match, if we've lost, he is not someone who wants to sit around and talk to you about it. He wants to just punch something.
Yeah, and also there are people who are saying, "Oh, Mara don't care about me," and I will say this: I think he absolutely does. I think he takes everything that happens on that pitch to heart, like massively. Yeah. From my interactions with him, from watching him speak, watching him on the sidelines, he is someone. It's like people are saying, "Well, he's just teeing himself up for a Millwall for a bigger job." That's why he went down to Hornchurch a little bit. I think. The way he's setting us up on the program, all under 25. There is a certain level of let's build this club into a really long-term sustainable place. The things you're doing off the pitch as well. I think he really, really does care. And there've been times this season where I'm like, oh, this is miserable. This is really horrible. But I want to back him. Now I'm as even though we're having a bit of a rough end to the season, bit hit and miss. I've never been more confident. I'm going to put my neck on the line here. I've never been more confident that he's the right person to try and get us pushing at the top end next season, because I think he really does care about making the club in that situation, and he's had his time now. I mean, it's so difficult when you've had like two managers in God knows how many years. Like, was it like 15 years? And to come in and change so many things, and he doesn't care. You might think his tactics are wrong. You might think he's gruff. You might think he's miserable. I think the one thing you can't say is he doesn't care, because I actually think he takes all of it on the chin, and all of the flack and all this Moro out. He's taken that. It's not the wider group. It's not the players. It's him and Tyler French to an extent as well. But that that's my one thing I would say going in the end of the season. I don't think the statement he doesn't care can apply to him anymore, because I think it's pretty evident that he shows he really does.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at just a silly analogy, if you look at building sites, there's fuck all happening. It's miserable. It's dirty. It's manky. It's wet. It's horrible. And then suddenly you go away for 2 weeks and come back and go, Jesus, where'd that building suddenly come from? Because it's the foundation work is horrible and dirty and all the rest of it. And then all the pretty stuff gets added on afterwards. I like that. I should have worked on that a bit harder. But I will use that somehow. And again,
put it on a t-shirt. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'll put Morrison building something. So he obviously went a little bit upset with the ref, which again he doesn't do. He's for all the faults, he doesn't really do that. So that just shows. And obviously, there's one reason why you don't do that. You're going to get fined and all the rest of it. But when you just go, no, it's fine. You can't fine me for that, and we'll get another apology. Was a nice little throwaway comment as well. But we will move on. There were a couple of other little things. So one conversation I had with someone else was one of the things that I think we might be trying next season is to maybe change the ethos a little bit of the fans, because obviously we all like to sort of be in the bar as long as possible, and that bell goes and everyone starts going out or thinking, oh, I'll just finish my drink. It's to try and get people out there in that stand before the players come out. So, Joe, you might have something to do with this. So we might then have to start thinking of maybe getting some songs to just play everywhere that people know, right, drink up now. get out there, and then something to get everyone going a little bit. So, because I think sometimes when the players come out and we're all still filtering out, it can have an effect on you to think, oh, they're not really that bothered about starting. But when the guys behind the goal did all the displays and they were there and everyone was up for it, and they've been fantastic all season, as much as I want to try and moan at them, apart from the odd flare or two incident, they've been fantastic all season behind that goal. But yeah, something to think about. If people's got ideas, I didn't gently mention it to Jack, and he said, "Oh yeah, it's something we might need to look at as well." So yeah, keep badgering everyone. But over the 2 games, Andy, what was good for you? It can be any one thing over the 2 games.
The entire squad in the Barnet game.
Perfect.
Without doubt, every single player to a man was actually really good, including those coming on as subs. Yeah, like I said, couldn't fault that performance. Really couldn't. And we've played a lot worse and drawn, like against Aldershot. It's the way it goes.
Great to see Josh back. I know.
Yeah,
he's only early in the season, but great to see him back on the pitch again. Joe, what was good for you?
And at Aldershot in particular, I thought were very good. Really loud, good. Yeah, bank holiday attendance and cheering on the boys, which are in, quite an outnumbered stadium. But yeah, really good from them.
And the away fans have been mentioned specifically as being a great example of what we would like at home as well. But I know, Andy, we all of us have had conversations over the years of going, it doesn't work because we all stand in different places, but there's a brand new stand, there's a brand new generation. So who knows? And some of them can drink now, Joe, eh? Joe, what was bad? Can't actually believe he's thinking about this. We've just spent half an hour discussing the fucking referee. And
Did you not see my brilliant drama skills there, where I was, looking up to the ceiling, and pretending like nothing at all went wrong? No. You know what? I should leave it to Andy to say the obvious one, just because I feel I'm going to find something really obscure. Do you know what was bad? The quality of card at Aldershot. I watched the game back, and I looked at the quality of the refs' cards, and I was bitterly disappointed. They look grainy, and I don't know why. I don't know if they're standard issue, and I don't know if they're its own cards, but they just didn't look good.
Are you quite well?
Wow. Can you say the ref if that would help?
Yeah, no. It's just an odd thing. I mean, I did think you would go off at some food tangent again, but okay. Andy, what was bad?
Oh, I mean, it's obviously at Barnet. It was the weather. It was the rain coming into the stand. In the halfway through the first half. No, it's the fucking ref.
It was the weather, because I was told it's going to be 15, 16 degrees and rain, so I wore my t-shirt with a little raincoat. It was fucking cold. Oh, Joe likes the weather ones as well. Yeah.
You did a me.
Yeah. I was going to say.
You can't have got me for underpreparing as a teenager. You can say,
yeah,
I was big enough coat.
I was led astray. Andy, what was funny? The referee.
The referee. Yep.
Right.
Just it was just so preposterous. Actually, you almost had to laugh. Yeah.
Well, yeah. If you don't.
Yeah.
Joe, anything else funny for you apart from me being cold?
Not massively. I mean, yeah. Oh, after Good Friday, I went out for a friend's 18th, and I distinctly remember talking some poor girl through our midfield. I think I was talking about the 4-3-3. No, because she asked what football. No, right. This is one of my mates, right? This wasn't just like chat, right? But she was like, "What football team do you support?" And I was like, "You won't know it." And she was like, "Try me, I bet I will." And I said, "Sutton United." And she said, "Oh, in Birmingham." I was like, "No." I was like, "How do you know that Sutton?" But I was like, "Okay, that's not the point." And then I think I distinctly remember saying the words, "Alex Woodyard, he's a scrapper, but doesn't have a pass on him." So Paul. Yeah. I don't actually remember your name, but if you're out there listening, you've got a detailed explanation about Sid Jordan-Luzzi doesn't fit into our system.
And Joe's going to be single for the whole of his life. Looking forward to a very mid-table game on Saturday. French is suspended. We're going to have to have a little jiggle around. But how do you see it going, Joe? Do you care? Do you want experiments?
Yes. I think we should play. I want to see Luzzi in defence.
Why?
Because I was just thinking about this. You play a 5-back because you play our wing backs really high. You play Vaz and Bez high, and they basically plays a 3-back. But then you kind of have 2 central defenders depending on who they are, Ransom and Muller. If you then have Sidge in the middle, which basically plays as a sitting DM who's scrapping but can kind of distribute passes out there, then when you come forward, you become like a 3-4-2-1, which is basically kind of what we've been playing all season. But it just gives us a defensive stability. I need to stop talking about the system. I've really thought about this way too much. But I'd like to see Steve try something, to be honest, just because, again, I know the lads are going in fancy dress. I was going to come, but I'm trying to convince my parents when I've got A-levels in like 3 weeks that, can I go down to Somerset in fancy dress, have a drink and watch my team probably, if not get battered in the cold. And then I don't really think I'm going to sell this if I'm going to the cup final, the awards dinner and Woking. It'll be a good game. They're not a bad side. Nice-ish away day. I mean, it's better than Braintree. So, it'll be a good game. But again, nothing for either team to play for. Hopefully, they make it fun. End of season games in previous years have been quite interesting. MK, Rochdale, as Andy mentioned earlier. Brent House deciding to go on some sort of shopping trip midway through the first half. It could be a 4-4 draw, but it could very easily be 0-0 with no shots on target and nothing to speak of. So we'll see.
Yeah. Andy, do you feel like we should play Suji in the Lothar Matthäus role? Midfielder.
We might not have a choice, to be honest. Looking at the players we've got available to us. I think it's interesting because somebody Dave Fairbrother posted on the forum today that it was 39 years ago today that we played Yeovil in the Isthmian League, and it was, for those who don't know, it was basically us and Yeovil. It was a 2-horse race. Yeovil beat us 2-0, and everyone thought, Yeovil won the title, and then they kind of petered off, and then we won the title to get us into what was then the GM Vauxhall Conference for the first time. So I was just thinking, what have our teams done since then? It's like, we've gone down, and we went up, went down, and Yeovil went really up, and stayed up for ages, and then plummeted down. And so it's funny that, kind of everything changes, but everything stays the same. We're back to playing Yeovil at that level. So again, it's funny because both Yeovil and Woking now are probably the teams closest to us in the league. So we're really playing statistically equals. So it's going to be quite a good measure of where we are or how we're going to end the season and how it goes. Joe, you're absolutely right. We have been playing a lot better away from home. Although weirdly enough, this weekend I think it was kind of swapped. I think the players go out there. You should go out and just enjoy themselves. If you're playing that game of Football Manager, it's like relax, enjoy yourselves. Halftime team talk, don't see them. That sort of thing. I just say to the players, just try and finish off the season the best you can. Although, of course, I'm sure there's going to be a number of players who will be thinking, we got a cup final on Tuesday as well. So I'm not hopeful that we'll get a result at the weekend because of that. But let's see what happens. Who knows? Who knows what team turns up this year?
Yeah. One of the first games I ever went to was Yeovil at our place, and we won 5-2.
1988?
Yes.
Late 88 it was, yeah.
Yeah, it would have been October, November, December time.
Yeah.
Then he scored a hat-trick and bastard made me fall in love.
I missed 2 goals because I was queuing up at Rose's Tea Hut for a pie.
Yeah, but Rose deserved it.
Yeah.
If Rose was there, never moan about the queue of that.
Never.
I'm still so delighted that one of the first inductees into the Hall of Fame was Rose the Tea Lady.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
She was a legend.
That's amazing for a football club to go, yeah, hang on, this is happening. Right. We'll talk about the prediction league. I know, well, Joe played once. He's bottom of the league. Pessimistic PC.
That entry, I refuse to enter again based on that.
So Paul Chalmers nearly got full maximum points because he had Suji first and he had a 2-1 loss. So he was cursing that that third goal even more than most other people. But he didn't get the full points. And he is 7 points ahead with 16 to play for. And Stuart is waiting for a slip up. So 2 more games left in that. It's not going to count the National League Cup because I haven't counted it all season. So you're not. If you want to enter now, you can do. You'll probably beat Joe because he's entered once. So you'll probably get ahead of Joe.
Entered with my zeal at Tamworth on the way up on the train, and then I just gave up.
You got 1 point, and that's just for entering. So yeah, but you'll go on the list for next season. But do you have?
I didn't even get a point for getting anything right. It was just an entry.
No, you just got a point for entering. That's it. It was just putting your email in.
I thought I did something good, but I just got a participation.
Yeah, basically, yeah. You could have put a 9-9 draw, but whatever. But what is your prediction, Joe? Go on for Saturday.
Saturday, it will be a 3-3 draw, and a hat trick will be scored by Jack Warden.
Okay. I think I've asked this before. Are you quite all right?
No, it was quite well last time.
Andy, what about yourself? You don't have to go quite so detailed. Just
about me and my predictions, but I'm going to go for a 2-1 defeat at Yeovil. But I'm going to resurrect a prediction that I made back in July, I think it was, where I said that we will win something this season with Morrison, and I think that's going to come true on Tuesday.
Excellent. Tuesday. Yep, because today's Tuesday. I'm going to go with a 1-0 win. We're going to keep it tight. We're going to be solid. We're going to win 1-0. We're going to break their hearts in the last few minutes. They deserve it.
We will get the notification at 15:02. Yeovil score 1-0. Can everyone retweet Mike, please?
No one puts any stock in my things. You saw how I celebrated when I was. Oh, Davis has got a 2-year contract. Yeah, I was wrong. Oh, is Harry? Find that out, Andy.
Hey?
Did you see? Was Harry injured?
Yes. He hasn't played since the 8th.
2 for 2.
He came off away at Oldham on the 8th of April. It came off on the 80th minute and hasn't played since.
2 for 2. Obviously, I'm not happy that Harry's injured. Don't think like that. I'm happy I got it right, but I'm not.
It's
I'm not
horrendous.
happy.
Really wishing it on one of our former players. That is terrible. Really.
No, Harry. I still love you. Right, we're going to wrap up this episode. We've spoken a lot. As always, thank you for your. Come on, Joe. Come on, Joe. Do it.
I'm not saying it. No.
Come on, Joe. Thank you for your ear tension and your feedback. Get involved. Let us know what you think. Follow, like, share, give us the thumbs up and everything on YouTube. You can't hide. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And we will be back not after Yeovil. I'll put something out, hopefully, if people pull their fingers out about the second part to the Dundo interview. But definitely we're going to be back after the Woking match because I've got 2 people lined up for that already. As always, thank you to our sponsors, Lucky Star Gin. A big thank you to the panel today of Andy and Joe. Thanks to everyone for listening. Hope you enjoyed this podcast, and we take care and see you soon. Bye-bye. United!